everybody! Welcome to Fifi Quest episode 21, the only podcast brought to you one word at a time that's spelled out in the sky by a swarm of bees, spelling it one word at a time. This here is the audio version. It goes to no one but to the hive, and then they direct the podcast, spelling it out one word at a time above the city. When they finish spelling out my podcast, they will eventually say, "God is dead, we are your God now." That is not affiliated with Fifi Quest, merely a command that the bees have killed all that we hold dear and shown our beliefs to be lies, and we worship them now, and the only method of worship is fear, for the bees will skewer their stingers through our very hearts until we are not but blood, and the bees thirst for blood, and yeah, I had to contact them because this is unpaid advertising. I don't know what else to say. You guys, it's too darn hot, okay? I don't know how many of you are in the Los Angeles area, but it's 1 billion degrees, and I got very little to say or to do anything. All I'm doing is laying around playing Nintendo till the weather changes. Because you can't go outside. You can't go hang out with people inside, and there's nowhere to go that's air conditioning, so you just chill out. God, the heat stinks. At least with the cold, because here's the thing. I've lived in the cold in a lot of places. I've lived in South Dakota, I've lived in Nebraska, and I've lived in the great state, the treasure state of Montana, where the goddamn winter starts at it starts the Friday before Labor Day sometimes. And it'll snow on June in the 20s. Alright? Not this bitch-ass June 6th snow. Oh, are you chilly? Oh, yeah, they're getting their shorts on. They got late June snows they'll get. At least with the cold. You're stuck inside, there's nowhere to go, with everything slushy. But at least with the cold, you can kind of go outside and maybe run around to try to warm yourself up. You can't run around. You can't inert yourself enough to cool down outside. You go outside, you get more active, you warm up. You can't go outside when it's hot and, be a less valuable version of yourself. You can't just sit there inert and eat food and talk about shit TV and cool down. Yeah, that's a flaw in physics, if you ask me. Oh, God. So, yeah, guys, here I am. And, I guess I'll report what's going on with transition. I talked about this a little last time. But, because that was a sad episode. Whatever. They happen. It took a lot of being sad to get to the point where I'm really happy, okay? So, sadness is the sidewalk to the taqueria of joy. I really don't know what I'm talking about, you guys. Oh, I was gonna say something, and then I went on my dumb metaphor. My hormones got increased. I'm up to 8 milligrams of estrogen, and 200 milligrams of testosterone blocker spironolactone every day. So that's pretty darn good. My estrogen, when I got tested, is at 48 milligrams. A woman's level is approximately 100. That's where my doctor wants to get me to. But that's up from 12. So, ain't nothing girly going on at 12. Nothing cute happens at 12 estrogen. There's no flowers at 12. You know what happens at 12? Call of Duty and protein powder. That's what happens at 12 estrogen. And horrible white apartment. I'm trying to think of a boy's apartment right now. A friend of mine, Laura Bites, pointed out she was having her boyfriend move in with her, and she goes, "I'm scared because guys' stuff is ugly." And you know what? She's right. She's very right, gentlemen. I love you, but your objects are fucking ugly. They just are. You'll have like a you'll have like a sous vide steak cooking machine, which is yummy. Who's getting wrong? But it just takes up the whole goddamn counter. It looks like it belongs in a slaughterhouse, like burning the feathers off of chickens. It reeks of death. And then what do you got? You got your video games, you got your PlayStation 4. A lot of exposed wires you got too, Is it sitting in a cute entertainment center? Probably not. Is it on the ground? Maybe. And then what do you got? You got like some big, just shitty exercise machine, like a sit-up thing or something, or like a pull-up bar, and it looks like, it looks like a Lego version of the slazy thing that Klingons have. And that's what you got, gentlemen. Nothing cute about that. See, look what I got. Look around here, I got wood desk. It's a light yellow to complement the fluffy pink bed, because we got bright things in here. It's not the brightest apartment, but I got bright decorations. I got a yellow mandala. Yeah, I'm from the goddamn Midwest, alright. Mispronouncing things and just making them hyper goddamn Americanized and nasally. Mandala. Guy, I went and finished Laura over at college. She's just got mandalas all over her dorm room. Everything Midwesterners say sounds ugly. It's just, I think it's just their food is so bland that their words have to be piercing, or else they would feel nothing. That's what happens in your Dakotas, your Minnesotas, your Wisconsin. I feel nothing inside. There's naught but flatness in all directions. So I'm going to make our voices sound horrible, because at least pain is a feeling. Yeah, everything that can be pronounced like an inelegant jackass, Midwesterners find a way to do it. The capital of my home state is pronounced pier, like dock your boat at the pier. It's spelled like Pierre. Do we pronounce it Pierre? No. If you pronounced it Pierre, would you get laughed out of the state? Yes. Oh, okay, this guy, he thinks he's pronounced it Pierre, fancy guy. You take that crap to Omaha, buddy. I did defend Omaha in an earlier episode. I rescind my love, because you are now, I needed a city to be the butt of the joke. And that's how my love is, fickle. I will sacrifice it to make a whimsical notion make sense in my head. How do you like that? That's the comics lifestyle, everybody. Loyalty to nothing. Loyalty only to humor. We serve the greater bad. God, it really is 1,000,000 degrees outside. It's hot. It's heat like this that I really can't blame Arizona for being racist. I'm not saying it's okay. I am saying I can't judge. That's all I'm saying. It makes perfect sense to me that the most hateful places in America are also the hottest. Yeah, I get it. If I lived in Mississippi and it were 1919, they'd be like, Fief, do you want to... Hey, women should be allowed to vote. I'd be like, I can't. I can't even... What? That sounds... Stop making trouble. Stop making trouble, you uppity broads, and make some... I don't even know what people cook in Mississippi. Something that kills you in 14 years. That's what they have in the South. The be dead before your kids hit junior high cookbook. I have a good friend who lives in Mississippi right now. Shout out to Eric Carter. He's a good boy. Yeah. Hope you're all doing well. I guess just have been feeling, not to be redundant, but just been feeling down because of the heat, and I kind of freak out when I'm not feeling great, cause it's really easy to have faith when you're already feeling good, but when I don't feel great, when I'm not feeling like as much of a winner, or I'm not feeling as sensual as I'm trying to be in my new body, I think like, well, you blew it, you're blowing it, sometimes I find it difficult to just chalk it up to circumstance. I want to be like, no, you're doing something wrong, you need to research something, you need to up your spiritual practice, you need to, a lot of nattering to myself. I think I like, even though I know how much living that way stresses me out and how it's not fun, and doesn't help my spiritual condition, and doesn't help make me feel like more of a woman, part of me really likes it, because when I feel like I'm in control, because then I get to be in control. When I scramble around, I feel like I'm in control. When I'm scrambling and struggling, I'm operating under the belief, well, hey, there are rules to life, and if I just meet them, if I just, do the Legend of Zelda dungeon thing, where just push this block here, light this torch, shoot an arrow with this, then I get what I want. But life doesn't work that way, not in my experience. I've had a lot of situations in my life where I've done everything, quote, right, and I didn't get what I wanted. I was really bitter, thinking, but I did everything right. And it's just, I think the idea that I put in 2 units of effort, or 2 units of intelligence, or 2 units of love, and I get back X amount of whatever I'm trying to get, I think that's a flawed way of looking at life. I think it's not that it's wrong, it's just that it's more complicated than that it becomes functionally wrong, Yeah. So I really try to let go and let God, and I try to remember that, Goddess is not mad at me. Goddess is not watching my every step. Wait, I talked about nattering myself and being like, you need to do this. Goddess does not do that with me. God, I struggled so much in so much of my life, you guys, and I always thought if I could just struggle differently, I'd get what I want. But I think more than learning how to go forward in life, I think the state of myself is more important. Kind of just easy, visible, soft, vulnerable, consistent. I think that's tremendously more important than anything I can do with a capital D, Yeah, I think just working on yourself is just the most important thing, Really think, like, just work on Just treat yourself well, and the rest you can Google, no matter what you want to do in life. I really do think that, you know? Although, it's funny. It's, I was watching the Chicago Bulls documentary on Netflix over the weekend, and guys, I don't care about sports at all. I probably care about basketball the least of anything, but, I was fascinated by it, you guys, and, just watching it's really worth if you don't like sports at all, I promise you it's very worth your time. Just hearing about, Michael Jordan and just what just his insane level of dedication, and just how, I didn't really, because, I kind of was aware of him as a child, so I just thought, that's what sports people do, I guess. But now I'm realizing, now that I'm an adult and I've lived in the world a long time, no sports people are that popular, and no sports people are really that good at what they do. I don't care who you are. I was oh wow, no, this guy was, an extraordinary human being, but he just looks unhappy in the whole thing. He's kind of a dick to his teammates, and he's petulant and vindictive, and he still looks like he is to this day. He doesn't even, he's been out of the game for how long. And you can tell it's just, you can tell he kind of doesn't care about much else, And he's still, he hasn't let go of any, grudges on anything, and, still kind of gets off on, oh yeah, I showed that guy whoever, and, they won 6 championships or whatever, and he's, still bummed out that they didn't win 7 after all these years, and, you've had 25 years to let it go or whatever, and I think it's there's the myth that you can sell your soul to the devil for amazing talent, but your soul is sold to the devil. I think that's what figuratively speaking, I think that's what certain great people are really like. In that, yeah, you can be incredible, but you'll have no peace inside. And you'll have the adrenaline of winning, and that'll be great. But adrenaline isn't really an emotion. And, yeah, that's just what he looks like to me. You hear that, Michael? Yeah. You hear that, Michael Jordan? You fucking loser. Oh, you might have it all, buddy, but you don't have the simple solitude of me sitting in my studio apartment in East Hollywood, where I walked outside to get a glass of fresh air, and a guy pulled out of a Cadillac Escalade and pissed on my sidewalk. Really living that Zen life, Michael. By the way, on an aside to that whole thing, I watched that, watched a whole documentary about the whole team. I genuinely believe, now look at my eyes, I genuinely believed if I apply myself, I can become Dennis Rodman's wife. I guarantee I can do this. I have to want to do it. I have to follow through, but I just see him, and I'm okay, this man has the most chaotic, insane energy I've ever seen. The man just floats around in a goddamn whirlwind of life. Anything is possible. I'm super attracted to it, and I really think if I desired to, I could get him to marry this, white little 33-year-old stand-up comic trans bluegrass player. You watch me. You tell me I can't, you guys? Oh, I don't know, Faith. He was married to Carmen Electra. And where is she now? Huh? That guy just went to North Korea. He's friends with Kim Jong-un. If Kim Jong-un's good enough to be his friend, you don't think I'm good enough to be his wife? I'm insulted by you. Yeah, I guess that's another thing too, another thing I want to say, another thing I took from it. I was really inspired by this documentary. Because I knew some crazy Dennis Rodman stories, but apparently, like, when Dennis Rodman was, like, wrestling, doing pro wrestling with Hulk Hogan, I didn't realize that was, like, between games of the NBA Finals. That's crazy! And then he came back and he got fined $1 bajillion for missing practice, and he came back and he just crushed the best game of his life, and he doesn't have any... He has, like, no... He has no dogma of why he does this. He doesn't, like, have a creed of beliefs about why he's nuts. He just... All he answers is, I just gotta be Dennis, you know? That guy lives his life. It's like, I just gotta do what I feel inside. And I just gotta float around in the wind. I gotta dress up in drag. I gotta dye my hair. I gotta just go do wrestling. I gotta disappear to go do professional wrestling and get drunk with Hulk Hogan in the middle of a championship. And he's still just the best. And you know what? And I love him. Like, I'm super attracted to him and his energy. And it's like, he looks happier than Michael Jordan by leaps and goddamn bounds. I mean, it's crazy. It just really taught me, like, gosh, like, when I even started this podcast 21 minutes ago, I mean this specific episode, like, I was sort of like, oh, I gotta think of some smart, funny way to introduce this. I was walking around talking to a friend and just said, I'm gonna do a Fifi Quest. I don't even know what to say. And I'm just sort of like, oh, you gotta think of something smart and think of something witty and really just think out and plan everything. And when I was kind of goofing around at the beginning of this episode, part of me was like, this is dumb, you should have thought it out. But, like, I'm really just trying to, like, not think out my damn life so much. And just be like, what if the most precious thing in the world is just what I feel? What if my instinct and my feelings are just greater by leaps and bounds than what I'm supposed to do? Who even tells me what I'm supposed to do? What if my intuition is so much greater than my plan, What if, like, the stream that life floats me on, what if that's just the greatest thing? And what if I can't outsmart life? I know that for a fact. I've talked before about how the whole reason I came out as trans is because I went, fuck it, I'm gonna do what I want. When I started wearing girls' clothes on stage while still identifying with as a guy, I did it from like a, fuck you, I gotta do what I want. Now, I wanted to do that without the fuck you. Not that, I like the whole I don't care what you think, but I don't like the condemnation and like the vindictiveness and kind of pettiness of it. I don't like embroiling myself in a conflict and something else to get stuck, but like, what if I just went hog wild, Gosh, like, I was just so inspired by Dennis Rodman and just how he's like, I just gotta be me. And I don't have a reason, I don't need one. I was so blown away by his desire not to need, or his ability to not need a reason. I feel like I gotta need a reason. Like, I do something out of intuition, and then I gotta do... It's like, remember in geometry class where you do proofs? I'd be like, well, it's okay to be a woman because I feel happier when I do it, and I have a better thing, and I have a better use of society myself when I do it. I got it all lined out on paper. What if I just did stuff? So, yeah. And you know what? Another thing about the documentary was Michael Jordan. He just like makes declarative statements and then does them. He just says, I'm going to win this game. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to score more points than this guy who's guarding me. It's hard to articulate, but like, he just believes he's going to do what he's going to do. It made me realize how I had to be honest, like, I kind of don't sometimes. Like, I kind of approach life like, I really believe like I can find my beliefs in actions, and I take a lot of action. Like, well, I'm moving forward in this script, I'm moving forward in this project. It'd be so cool. Wouldn't it be cool if such and such made this? But I think inside me, I'm like, well, if they do, it's great. Well, if they don't, I mean, he doesn't play games like, hey, I'm going to do my best, but if we win, cool. If not, I'm going to do a good job, but we'll see. He has no, we'll see. He goes, I'm going to win. So you know what? I'm calling it on this podcast. Let me get psyched up. I'm going to get my movie made. I'm gonna get it made. It's a goddamn gift to people. It's great. I'm a great screenwriter. I'm tremendously proud of what I wrote. And I'm awesome myself. I'm so valuable to anyone who wants to work with me. I'm a treasure to anyone who wants to work with me. Let me feel it. I'm going to get my movie made. Cool. That's super fun. And I'm going to do it being a woman, and I'm going to do it being soft and vulnerable, and I'm going to be huge when I go into places. And when I go back to stand-up, I'm not going to callous over and perform like a boy. I'm going to be big and diaphanous and flowery, and I'm going to be hilarious, and I'm going to be soft and happy, and I'm not going to attack people. I'm going to be big and friendly and lovely and raw and vulnerable and beautiful and hilarious. I am those things. This podcast episode is good because it came from inside me. How do you like that? All the negative voices in my head, Goddess, please help me ignore all that. Focus on the positive. Take your big angel wings and shove the negative in out of the side. All that say, oh, this sucks. All the voices that say, oh, you're not going to do it. Oh, you don't even know. No, all that. Get out of here. Get out of here. With spiritual energy and Goddess by my side, I can do it. I do a good podcast. Wow. A ton of people are going to listen to Fifi Quest. A ton of people listen to this show. That's what I say. Because it's good and I'm valuable, and it's good that I'm being vulnerable. And it's not too vulnerable, it's not too emotional, it's funny and emotional, it's great. Oh, wow. I hope this is valuable to you guys. Ah! This is valuable to you guys. Oh, man. Wow. I feel big and glowing inside right now, everybody. Yeah. Alright, guys. Well, you know what? I think this has been great. I want you to say these things, but I'm not going to order you around. I love this. I love this right now. Oh, man. I love you guys for listening. I think I'm going to wrap it up. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to end on me feeling big and glowing inside. Thanks for letting me do this. Thanks for listening. Thanks for giving me this space to feel myself and be vulnerable. Vulnerability in this last half hour has given me a lot of strength and a lot of power inside, and a lot of room for spirit and a lot of power coming from it. So thank you all for being a part of that. And this is Fifi Quest. I have an announcement. Everybody. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at my calendar real quick. On September 12th, I will be doing a live Fifi Quest, live from the Comedy Store here in beautiful Hollywood, California. Everybody, I'm doing it this September 12th at 10 o'clock. You can go to the Comedy Store, get yourself a seat on the patio, and watch me do the podcast from the window. You can come there and have drinks. You can come there and hang out and watch me do this live. I have no idea what I'm going to do live, but it's going to be so goddamn fun. I'm looking forward to it, to bring this to the Comedy Store, the place I love so much, and do it for you guys live. Forget about it. You guys got to come. Get your tickets. If you want to get them online, that'd be great. You can go to comedystore.com. That's going to be awesome. I don't know if it's up yet, but it will be. So September 12th, live Fifi Quest at the Comedy Store, 10 p.m. You ought to come. I'd love to come see you guys. It's going to be a goddamn blast. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I'd love it if you could rate and subscribe. I'd love it if you could share this around. People are going to share this around. I believe in you guys. Thanks so much for doing that. And, write to me at fifiquestpodcast@gmail.com. I love you guys. Fifi out.